Thank you very much, Chairman Paul. There's a lot being said, and I don't intend to take up too much more of your time, but it's about where we go to from today. I look around here today. This is not about politics. Have a look around. Have a look at your mate. Have a look at the people and their neighbours from your adjoining councils. This is about people, and it's about our communities, and it's about the future of our communities. I was part of the original decision that was made on the size, shape and sustainability at the executive level of the LGAQ. And myself personally, and I was speaking to our President of Local Government last night, Paul Bell, and he extends his apologies. But we have been betrayed. We have been betrayed. And before I touch on that, I want to let you know that I'm going to give you a couple of clear messages, and if the media are interested today, if the media are really interested in a story out of today, I will give you something very shortly that comes from the LGAQ and our President Paul Bell. I also extend an apology from Kay McDuff, the Mayor of Bundaberg, who is busy on her red day in her area as well, and Kay is the executive representative for this area. I want to let you know that this is about no forced amalgamations. No forced amalgamations. The people in these communities have a desire. You as Queensland, I tried to find something red this morning. I found maroon, and I'm sure Carl Rackerman would be extremely proud, as many others, as Queenslanders. I've got red underpants on, but I'm not showing those at this stage. But I'll let you know, as Queenslanders, and as you, the people of Queensland, you deserve to have a say. You have the right to have a say, and that has been taken away from you. It's unfair, it's unacceptable, and it's undemocratic. I want to just take you back in time. Our LGAQ, the Local Government Association of Queensland, has been aware that there is a number of shires and councils, real and genuine in Queensland, who want to amalgamate. The Beattie government did not have a process for them to amalgamate. It was put on the agenda, and consequently local government agreed, and I remember the day it came onto the executive that we agreed that we would go through a process with the Queensland government in called size, shape and sustainability. And as a result of that decision at the executive table, we agreed on two simple points. Two simple points. The first one was there would be no forced amalgamations. And the second point was that there would be a referendum, the democratic process for the people to have a say. You elect your councils, you deserve to have a say in the future of your community, your council and your shires. Consequently, we entered into a 5-year agreement with the Queensland government. A 5-year agreement. And they funded it, $28 million. And on the 17th of April, they came out with a knife and they stuck it in the heart of local government and our communities. They have betrayed us. There has been lies, very loose with the truth. There has been lies and there is deceit. The reality of it is the community have been silenced, but not anymore. And I will say to you, you must not go quietly. I heard Les say before, and other speakers, about what will the future bring for our communities. Yes, there's concerns and there's anxiety, and it's unnecessary. It should not have been thrust on our communities in any way, shape or form. But it is now, because the Gang of 7 are now dealing with it. But you know, and I look around here and I see many community leaders themselves, but you as individuals, you know what has happened when governments become centralised. You lost your North Burnett Council, your Health Council. You've put about the ambulance and the fire and the police before it becomes so centralised that you will end up being governed from Brisbane. And that's unfair. There's much more to be said, and I know that Paul will be keen to get to the last speaker, Howard Hobbs, and I congratulate Howard and everybody on organising this. But here's my message very shortly. spoke to Paul Bell, the president of the LGAQ last night. There is protest rallies occurring around Queensland. 70 in actual fact. 70 across the state. I had the pleasure to stand next to Shane Webke, and it's great to see Carl Rackerman, and I can assure you there's many other people in our rural and regional areas that are saying it's not acceptable, and we will not go quietly. These protests are in anger, and it is in opposition to the flawed process that will force amalgamations, that will be thrust on us by the Labor government, the Queensland Labor government. Councillor Paul Bell wants me to indicate to you that the Local Government Association will continue in its pursuit to make sure at the end of the day that the communities have had a way of having their say. And if it means a mass rally in Brisbane, then that is what we will do. But please, I'm inspired by the numbers that are here today. I've been inspired by the numbers at Barcaldine and the other areas I go, and I'll be at Blackall on Monday. But do you know what? If we're going to go to Brisbane and we're going to tell the Queensland government and the ministers that we will not go quietly, we want 10, 20, 30,000 people, if not more, to be down there. We need our city cousins to understand that the future of our rural areas need their support as well. Here's the point. Here's the real point. Is that we have heard the Premier and others gloat that in excess of 40% of councils are unfinancial or they're financially unsustainable. This was as a result of the Queensland Treasury Corporation report that was done, and these findings were to be confidential as part of the SSS process. And unfortunately our Premier released them. Well, unfortunately for him and his ministers and his government, as a result of what the LGAQ has done, will be releasing over the next week, within the next week, a major review that has been undertaken by a national, well-accredited, highly qualified accounting firm of those Queensland Treasury Corporation financial sustainability reports. And these repeated claims by the state government, these repeated, and you've heard it say so often, that councils will fall over in droves in the next term of council. This report, which will be released next week, will make very interesting reading for each and every one of you, your councils, but probably more important, the number of people, ministers and the Premier, are going to end up with egg on their face. Because I can tell you right now personally, our councils are not financially unsustainable. They are well managed, they are well governed. And at the end of the day, they need your support to make sure that they continue to be your local government for local people and supporting local jobs and local business. Thank you very much, and well done.